Hey everybody, good morning. Let me just make sure I'm connected. Oh wait, hold on. Don't think I'm connected. Do not disturb. Make sure I keep my husband quiet. This on. Okay, I think I'm connected. Can someone give me a thumbs up if I'm, or whatever, a yes if I'm being heard? Okay, I think. Can you all hear me? Yes, okay, thank you. Thanks, Mom. Welcome, everyone. I come in here today. Oh man, there's so much to share. I feel like there's so much to share this morning. It has been, and I was excited when I opened up this little window to go live. Already saw you all were in here. Liza, welcome, lady. You've been on my mind so much, and Trish, Jessica, Mary, which is my mom. Super stoked that you all are here because I feel like today is a really important message. And Trish, I'm going to share a little bit of our. Actually, I was going to keep it quiet, but it's just my part of our conversation because I think it's so relevant to these last couple of days. So as I've sat with today's message, I've been not trying, but I have metaphors and experiences to try to share some of the the energy that has been passing through, because y'all, I mean, I know you all feel it, and it's been pretty overwhelming. But first, I thought this was really interesting as well. I've been talking about this jackhammering construction that's going on down here. This is about week 4, and they've had one day off where it's been silent. Every other day from when I get back from walking the dogs, maybe around 9 in the morning, 9:15, it's already going. So it starts while I'm up on the hill. But even when I'm up on the hill where I used to go to have some peace and quiet, there's another construction site down from there that's also jackhammering. So even when I go up to get away from it all, there's jackhammering up there. And the interesting thing is there's this little rock, there's a big rock that I sit on while I'm getting some peace and quiet. And today I went up there, and the rock, I mean, it's a big rock. I said little, but it's a big rock. It was gone. Like, my little seat was gone. And I'm pretty sure I'm one of the only people that go up there during the day. So I think that is really interesting. So I'm like, this is either a glitch in the matrix, or I'm going to come back to what the other thing is. I feel like we are being tossed every single dark experience, dark energy that is trying to break us in this moment. And it has a lot to do with this message. So just hear me out on this, because there's no coincidences. There are no coincidences. So for me to just want to get away from noise, and now for the last 2 weeks, there's jackhammering that's very, very, like, easily heard up there. To go up today, and my little meditation rock is gone, but there's thousands of rocks up there. So I just found another one. It wasn't quite as comfortable, but it was just so amazing to me. So when I came back down, I was putting the dog's food together, and I heard, like, there was, like, all of a sudden I was like, why am I so agitated? There was other noise that all of a sudden I became aware of. And there's, like, that weird line right there. And as I looked out this window, my neighbor, like, not my neighbor, but the building next door to us, the one lot over, all of a sudden they're now building like this little storage facility, like this little storage outbuilding. And there's hammering and the wet saw thing, because they have tiles on the roof of it. So it was like, meow, and all the while out here is like, ja, 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 ja. Every aspect of my world is so freaking loud. And you know how I used to talk about on daily tune-ins, like, my time out on this balcony was so sacred and so precious. I have not been out on that balcony for longer than I got to use it, because the entire summer it was just too hot and too loud. And now that the season's over and we're back into construction season, which I now have claimed, it's just too loud to be out there. I brought in all of the stuff because it was just baking in the sun. And as I was thinking about this morning, I was just like, this is way too weird. My rock is gone. There's more noise. It's as if just like the darkness wants to take over, even from the outer world. And all of a sudden, and I've gotten two different messages from people who have viewed the peace talks and in the last couple of weeks, who said, "But that's crazy. You talk about construction. Look." And I have one that sent a picture, and the other one just said, "I have construction," and she named what it was, but a loud piece of machinery that I can't remember the name, that is constantly going. And I thought, this is way too coincidental. And what came to me today is, I firmly, firmly believe that this work that we are doing, that for those of us on in this community, we have been doing, if we're resonating around this conversation, it's because we are in resonance. We have been doing enough work and purging and coming up in our light, that we are becoming brighter and brighter. And as we become brighter and brighter, yes, we anchor this into our planet, and we anchor it into the universe, really. But let's just talk about planetary humanity anchoring in this light. But darkness also surrounds the light as well. And I truly believe that it's a frequency, like darkness is attracted to the light as well. And as we grow in our light, we are having to also manage the darkness, whether it's in our exterior world or within. And I got a lot of practice this week on managing the darkness within. I will tell you what, I talked about it on the last Peace Talks. And at that point, I was like, whoo, I survived that wave. Well, it was kind of like what the Peace Talks, I think 2 or 3 Peace Talks ago, was being just pummeled. I was pummeled this week, because not only did I finish the Peace Talks on Thursday, but Friday, I was pummeled again by another wave into Saturday. And I know I wasn't the only one, because I was getting text messages from a couple of different people. One friend in Scotland sent me a text. She's like, "Are you feeling this?" Because I'm like dying. And then I was having another text message conversation, and I want to read this to you, because I can come in here and laugh about these waves, and I can talk about them in words, but I think this I want to read my words in the moment, because it really does, it brings profound understanding of what it is. Just I'm sharing what I'm in at the moment, so that you all know that you're not alone, whether you are in emotional or physical stress at the moment, or unwellness. It's in the energy. We are all being purged pretty significantly this week. Hold on one second, let me find it. Are you feeling this today? Here's my answer, okay? I said, "Oh Lord, lady, today," and I put the fit emoji. "It's been so intense, up and down, praying for mercy." I literally was praying for mercy on Saturday. And what I mean by that, I was on this couch. I mean, I laugh about it, but I was on this couch just being like, please, like, I just need mercy, like when you just need to be like, I surrender, but mercy, like, let up a little bit. I can't feel anymore before I feel like I'm going to suffocate. My heart palpitating out of my chest. My dogs are driving me insane, as is this world I am in, because of the noise. It's hard to manage it all consciously, to stay conscious and to trust this process. When we are in it, it's sometimes like we think we're crazy. We think we're not going to survive. I texted Bud that this upcoming month feels so big to me, like it's either going to deliver an epic turn of events or it will break me. Holding the line is taking strength that is starting to falter. So I share that because it has, so since then, since that text, I managed to get through that wave, slept really hard Saturday night. So that was last night for me. And I had some amazing dreams, and I was getting visions of what I think is kind of this world that is being pulled in through holding the line. And it was funny because when I left the States, I had these old Uggs, and I loved my Uggs, and I wore them. I mean, literally wore the soul out of them to the point where I was like, they were so meaningful to me because I've worn them so long that Bud was like, "Babe, you have got to let those go. Like you'll get more." So I let them go, but in my dream, I was walking through snow and I was so excited. I was so excited because I love snow and I haven't really, I mean, of course I said I haven't really. In Ukraine, we had snow and it was so exciting for Bud and I. Like we were like kids when we'd be like, it's snowing. We'd put all of our, layers on because we didn't have proper clothes and we'd go out. But in this vision last night, I was walking and I had brand new Uggs on. Like I literally saw my brand new Uggs. But I couldn't, when I woke up, I was like, man, I was so excited about the Uggs and the snow. And I was looking down, I didn't look up and see where I was. But these dreams, the dreams that we are having, are visions. They are taking us into different realms of this heaven on earth. And I can feel it so viscerally. And the other weird thing too about my nights is that I'm very conscious of the physical world. So in my mind, I want to be like, I'm not really sleeping, but yet I'm having these very lucid dreams. So it's as if we are between worlds. And we are October 30th in Halloween and Samhain. We are in that time when the veil is the thinnest, which is when we are able to kind of transmute or not, we can transport ourselves in between worlds. So really pay attention to your dreams today. Okay, so these are just kind of sidebar little nuggets of my experience in these last 2 days. But when I tell you, Friday and Saturday, and then Bud, I was talking to him and he's, he finally got a car, so he's getting his spirit back a little bit, and he's getting his hands in some dirt and doing some manual labor that makes him so happy. So he's like a kid, and so he'd call me. He's like, and then I did this, and then I went here, and I went to explore the beach, and it was just like, and then I went here, and I ate tacos, and like I haven't had tacos since we left Mexico, and the food here is not that great. And so like I really just, there's not a whole lot here that's filling me. There's a lot that's taking. And unless I hold my energy, it could very easily be sucked. So him talking to me about all these great things that he's being filled just pissed me off. So I finally was like, honey, I gotta go. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. So it was just a lot of agitation over the last couple of days. So if you felt it, here's why. Here's why. And as I sat with this message, it came in finally, kind of just started to formulate with all the different things that have been happening in the last couple of days. And I got pretty clear. And the clearer I got on the message, the clearer I got that this message is a big one. There's a lot of information that hopefully my words will speak it into reality and translate it correctly. But when I tell you, like, just feel these words more than anything, because I believe that we are about to have a rather large shift up in this community. So I'm gonna talk about this, but I named this, or I titled today as "Farewell Old World." Revelation is coming, and what it feels like, when you're in your car and you're driving and you put your directions in, and it's like, oh, in 22 miles you'll make a right, right? So you just sit back and relax. So when something is coming up, you just kind of like, all right, I'll get to it when I get to it. When I say coming in this, it feels like when you get a mile away and then it says, and then you keep going, and then the lady on the GPS says, make a right in 200 yards, and you sit up and you're starting to look for it, right? When I say revelation is coming, it feels like it's coming like very soon, and we need to be looking for it, not out here, but in our thoughts, in our insights. So bear with me here, okay? Because I'm gonna piece this together as it came to me. I write things down as I start to get the pieces. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, I get it. So I'm going to give it to you like it was given to me, because this does all piece together. Remind me at the end, I'm going to do the raffle too. So I might forget that. I hopefully won't. So one thing that I was corrected on, what I did a lot of over these last couple of days is I journaled. Like I was constantly in this thing, being like, what is this anger? Like, what is this sadness? Like, just trying, not necessarily that we have to get to the bottom of it, but everything has a message. And as it came through, I was not going to sit with it and just let it pass. And like I wanted to commune with it. What am I here to learn from such deep sadness? And what am I here to learn from this grief? And one of the messages that I got is I've been saying through daily tune-ins in this spring, like we're sowing the seeds, we're sowing the seeds. And I think it was the last peace talks or two peace talks ago, I said something about November as we anchor into the Earth Star chakra, into the we're going to start sowing the seeds to our new Earth. What I was corrected on from my team, my guides, is you've already sown the seeds. Here, what's happening now is we are sprouting up now. We have sown the seeds already. In these last couple of months, we have been repotted almost. I'm going to come back to that. So I want to correct myself when I say we're not spreading the seeds. Every single time we have sat through a wave of sadness or a wave of grief this entire year, and I mean in our whole entire like journey, in those moments when I was praying for mercy, right? Not just now, but I've prayed for mercy many, many times in my lifetime of this journey. How many times do we say, I just want to feel joy in my relationship? I just want to feel, I want to feel loved and heard in my marriage. And I'm coming from, this is how I was in my first marriage. Like I want to see someone, I want to see my husband, and I want to light up, and I want to be excited. I want to be excited to hear his voice in the morning. Every time we intentionalize what we wanted, we sowed those seeds. And every single time we sowed those seeds, especially this past year when we were talking about sowing the seeds in the spring and into summer on the daily tune-ins, when we were still in doing daily tune-ins, every single time at that point, I think actually I don't know, remember what month it was, but I was talking about plot twists. Like, what is the plot twist that you want to pull in? What I didn't have the language for, but what was really being called in is, what is your heaven on earth? What is the plot twist that all of a sudden you are on your soul timeline and you're like, oh my God, this is it. Like all of the seeds of all aspects of your life have been sown, and I'm staring at it. I'm looking at it. What does that look like? And if you're anything like me, you've visualized it, you've meditated on it, you've journaled around it, you've done these, you've processed these waves to get them out of the way, because it's not fertile soil. These seeds want fertile soil to grow, the fertile soil of your energy, of your intentions. So over the last few months, 6, 7, 8 months, we have been intentionalizing these seeds. And these seeds are all part of our DNA. So every month, as one of those power centers came online, every month, as more and more of our DNA awakened with all of these new solar frequencies that are coming in, they started to blossom. But as they started to blossom, what happens when you start, seeding something? You put them in little egg crates, little seeds of maybe oregano or basil, right? And you put them in little egg crates to just get them started, to get them little starters going. When we had the greenhouse in Austin, Bud had one whole pallet full of just plumeria starters, and they were these tiny little stalks. But as soon as they started growing, he would have to repot them into a larger pot. And when he did that, he would have to pull them out by the root and replant them into a bigger pot. That time when that happened, There were sometimes I would go in, like, I don't have a green thumb at all. Like, I can't, he left plants here that like, I told my neighbors, like, I have to bring these plants over because I can water them. But what I know I can bring is the love. I probably overwater. I don't know how to really take care of them. But what I would go in my job in the greenhouse would I would go through each little section. I would bless each one. I would touch their little leaves and be like, you are so loved and you just keep growing. And when he would repot them, there was some of them that would be so limp. And I'd be like, honey, what's the matter? And why are they all limp? Or like, why is this one almost dead? And he'd say, well, it's a big shock. It's a big shock to their systems when you take them out of their pots and repot them. Even though their environment is still the same, the soil is a little bit different. The pot's bigger. So they're all kind of like, I'm in a new home and I don't know, like I'm not familiar, until they get the strength to kind of put their roots down. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, man, my roots can keep growing even more. I don't have to stay with where they have been. I want you to imagine that that's what we have just done. In the month of October, when we were talking about freedom, another aspect of that I'm just now understanding is we talked about the doorway opening. We stepped through a doorway. So we took our roots from the old world and stepped through to this new world through the doorway. And we set our roots down that are now starting to anchor into the earth star chakra, into that chakra that hasn't really been online, because we've only been connected in the 7 chakras, and that's part of the 8 through 12 chakras. Okay, so that's what we are solidifying. The roots now are starting to really get rooted. So these last couple of weeks, since we stepped through that doorway, we are kind of like the shocked little plumeria plants that are like, where are we? What are we doing? Where do we go? What do I do? And we're trying to get rooted, but we're not quite rooted yet. So that's what I feel like, a lot of this discomfort, a lot of this overwhelm. If your body is not feeling well, that's just your physical body expresses what is happening energetically, emotionally. So it's just a reflection. I know a lot of people have been talking about well, digestive stuff, especially. I got a text over the a couple days ago. My friend was like, my digestion, like, I could tell you, but you wouldn't want to know, but my digestive system is a mess. Because what's happened, the digestive system is plugged into those physical chakras, the chakras that are associated with the physical world. We are trying to anchor our roots in to this new energy of this new place that we've stepped through the threshold of, but we're still kind of like, where are we? And we feel a little lost. So just keep that in mind. We are all acclimating to a completely new energy now. And that energy is now being rooted. Okay, so we've transferred to a new world. So it's shocking to the system. And remember, I talked about a tower moment. I don't remember which Peace Talks it was, but to expect the shock and awe. Okay, so this is what's coming. This is what feels really big to me. Okay, so this is what I really want you to just maybe close your eyes and just listen to. You don't have to close your eyes, but what has happened now is it's as if we stepped through that doorway, but the door was still kind of open behind us to that old world, so we could kind of feel the energy of it, and it felt familiar as we kind of took in our new surroundings, so to speak, energetically. But at this point, that door, and it feels very, in the last, like, I want to say days, I hate putting linear time on things, but it feels pretty much in the last few days, I'll just put it that way, that door behind us has shut to the old world. Like, there is no going back at this point. And that's not from a scary place, it's from a holy crap. That's amazing. We don't have to worry about being sucked back into that old world. We are now planted and rooted in the frequency of heaven on earth. We just have to be nurturing ourselves and watering our plants, so to speak, in order to get them to strengthen in their rootedness in this reality. How we do that is by keeping in our minds, in our hearts, that which is the vision, that which is the intention of heaven on earth. What are we looking at? I've been talking about that. And I will tell you, for as much as I was in the darkness, I would make myself, I would feel it, but I felt a shift in like I wouldn't stay there because I wanted to sit in the vision of what is being created now. So as I was doing that, it would kind of just dissolve the darkness because I could feel my heart expanding in joy, in blessings. And even when I slept and I saw my brand new Uggs, which I don't like them when they're brand new. I like when they get all, and they get all worn in, but I was so happy to have like brand new. There was no creases, nothing in them in the snow. And I was walking, it was crunching. It was like so visceral that I was sleeping and I was feeling my heart expand because that was a moment in time in my new heaven on earth, wherever this is, that I was crunching in the sand and there were more roots being rooted. My heart was expanding. I could feel it. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about feeling like their hearts just whoo, 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 and it's pulsating. It's pulsating. And sometimes I'm like, it doesn't hurt. It's just like the stretching, like when you stretch, it feels good, but it's kind of like, that's how our heart is expanding so vastly to be able to take in these new frequencies. So, and as we take in these new frequencies, as we are intentionally sitting in our heaven on earth, that jackhammering just stopped. I don't know how long it's going to be stopped, but I can just feel my whole system just go, whoa. As we're in this expansive space of tuning into what's in front of us, what is right in front of us, not my physical reality, but my intentional reality, where I'm going, keeping that in mind as we expand, so too does our capacity to receive more light. We are in a massive opportunity of receptivity of light. My prayer, when I was asking for mercy, how I was doing that, my prayer has only now become, it's not like, oh, I want to go back. I'm not detailed in what I'm looking for. I am only saying in this moment, I am ascending into the light, closer to the creator and closer to my heaven on earth in this moment. And that would freak a lot of people out in the 3D world because they're like, ascending into heaven, going into the light, like that means death. Yes, that is the death of the old world. I'm not afraid of that. I am inviting in the revelation of the new light that then shows me my project in my reality, the new world. And how I get there, the bridge between literally what I'm looking at to literally looking at my heaven on earth, I'm not sure of that. That's what the revelation is. So what we are the discomfort that we're feeling now is getting us ready for this revelation of light. And I will tell y'all, this feels really like it's like turn right into, in 200 yards kind of close. Like, I don't know. I mean, I want to say days, but the whole linear time thing is just messes with our minds and it makes us attached to something that, um, but it doesn't feel like months. And because of the energy that we're in between the eclipses, getting into the 1111 portal, that then takes us like a tidal wave to December 21st, I do believe we are staring at the wall of a tower moment. And when that tower moment comes, it will be revelation. And that revelation will be seen by each of us individually based on the resonance in which we are vibrating in. So for those of us who have cleared and cleared and cleared and are pretty open channel, we are connected to our supernal channels. We're in a higher light. So the revelation will be it's going to be a shock and awe, and it's going to be one of joy. And I believe it's going to be it's going to show us the bridge into our new world. Okay. It's going to show us like right then. And it will be a moment in time for some who have not done the work, who have held on to the safety of comfort, and who have, ignored the call to heal and the call to purge. The shock and awe will be overwhelming in a different way. In for many of us, we know those moments. It's a painful thing, but it's the pain that leads us into the opportunity of healing. It will be that moment for some that they won't be able to bear it. Some will be able to say, okay, just like we did. Many of us have had those moments of shock and awe where it brought us to our knees, but we were like, okay, clawed our way out, up, till here we are. So, whatever this moment is, it's going to be different for everyone. So, this is the revelation will come on what you've been watering, what you've been nurturing, what you've been rooting in. If you have, and I'm not saying you all, but in the world, if somebody has been rooted in anger or resentment, yuckiness, that's been watered. So the tower moment, the revelation moment, will be the revealing, the illumination of truth that will be all of a sudden that root will just sprout up and it'll be ugly. And then there's going to be for others in all different frequencies in between. For others, we have been watering and working towards and nurturing these beautiful ideas and intentions of heaven on earth. And a revelation will take us to the very first, the first materialization or the manifestation of the beginning of living that. This is what I'm hearing, what I'm getting, what I'm believing to be so. So the heaven on earth revelation is going to be illumined through the heart, right? So the heart is the portal. That is the portal between the spirit and the physical world. So in that moment of revelation, let me just finish that thought. In that moment, that's when the spiritual realm meets the physical realm at the heart. And we expand and we're like, oh my God, I get it. I understand. I know what my next step is. I know where I'm going now. So what I was going to say is I don't think we're going to be like, we may not be plunged like into it. It's just the revelation of where we're going and what's happening and what's unfolding. It's going to be when all the pieces come together. I'm losing my son. We changed times here. I don't know. I know in the States it's next week, my mom said, but we changed times here. So that's why it was kind of weird. I think for some of you, but next week I think we'll be on the same time frame now, but my son's going down quickly. So I got to wrap this up. So all of this to say, this revelation comes collectively, and how that comes is by us pulling in this moment of revelation, the light bearers, right? We are the light bearers. We are the way showers. We show the way by pulling in this illumined truth, the revelation, by collectively affirming we are ascending into the light of heaven on earth. This then creates a harmonic resonance, a harmonic, I've talked about this before too, a harmonic resonance that when we are all, this is our work for the next 2 days until the next piece talks, so we get the next message. Our work is to just keep affirming, keep our eyes, our third eye, our vision on where we are going. What does heaven on earth look like for you? How does it look and how does it feel? How does it expand your heart? The more your heart expands, the more you become an electromagnetic field, and I become an electromagnetic field. And someone who sent me a message is in New Zealand. She's over there doing her work. You're in the States. We've got Scotland. We got people all in our collective all around this world. And as we are working in the next 2 days, just keep your mind, not this mind fixed to health and wealth and abundance and what that looks like for you. Where are you? What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you being with? Who's your community? And just stay fixed on that, because that's going to expand all of us into this grid of this harmonic resonance that will call in. And as you are in it, affirm, I am ascending into the light. In this moment, I am ascending into the light of my heaven on earth. And I am anchoring this heaven on earth for my I am presence and the I am presence of every man, woman, and child. We are affirming that we are calling in this moment of revelation so that we can then create this harmonic resonance in consciousness and pull it into reality. As we do that, in these next few days, you will get insights. They're going to feel like thoughts, but they're going to be insights. They're going to be directions. They're going to, I mean, it's already happening. So I think many of you already know this process, but you're going to get clues. One of the clues too, I want to talk about this. One of the conversations I had, one of you sent me a text and said, I keep getting, get ready to bend, get ready to bend. And when I got that, I heard then, it was kind of like, the message came in through her from her team. And then it was like we add on to it. And then when I came, the team got, my team, it said, get ready to bend reality. And what that means to me is a wormhole of time when this harmonic resonance happens and this revelation comes in. It's on the horizon. I think it's within sight of this moment in time that like a bend in reality happens, and we kind of jump up, we ascend in a really quick way, which is going to be shocking to the system a little bit, but it's also going to be shocking us upward into an ascended frequency that jumps us up into being solidly and healthily, that's a word, healthily anchored into the bigger pot of heaven on earth, of our fifth dimensional frequency. Okay. And then I've also been getting on top of that. At that same time, she sent me that text about, I keep getting a get ready to bend. I've been getting get ready. So I've been packing up. Like you'll see all my stuff's not here anymore. The crystals, I've been packing up. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know how this is going to unfold. I just feel, y'all, that there's something that's about to burst open, and it's going to give us a knowing where we have felt a little lost, we felt a little blind, we've been carrying blind faith, and that blind faith has been like what's kind of taken us to our knees, being like, I can't keep carrying this, because like walking in blind faith has been really hard. I feel like a moment in time is close where we will know more, where we'll just be illumined. So it is up to us for the next couple of days until the next peace talks, till we get the next step in our training or the next step in our direction, to just simply be in the mind, in the third eye, in the vision, in the feeling of heaven on earth. And it'll wash our bodies with light. It'll cleanse any illness, sickness, emotional yuck. It's going to cleanse us. It's going to wash it out. So we've just got to be prepared to allow that purge to happen. Okay. The sunset is about to happen. So before I do anything else, I do want to read. I see you guys have a lot of stuff that you're saying. I like it. I do want to pick. I'm going to do the raffle out of the mayonnaise jar. This is the mayonnaise that we use here in Albania. It's all right. It's not Duke's. Duke's is my favorite in the world. I miss Duke's. Big Southern one. Okay, don't want to look. So this is the raffle that I did for a reading. So whoever I pull out of here is going to get a reading, a 60-minute reading, which also means that everyone who did put in for the reading, I will send you a one or two. If you have multiple readings, you'll get 2 cards, but I'll send you an emailed reading. And the winner is Mary, my mom. So we'll have to do a reading together, Mom. I'm super stoked. I think we could have some fun together. So I will reach out to you. And my mom only had, like, I just put 2. Like, she sent me enough to cover like 17,000 raffles, but I just put 2 in there to make it fair. So it like there's no like nepotism or anything in that. So she's yeah. So I'm super stoked, Mom. I think that's gonna be fun. And I'll reach out to you. So let's see. Why is everyone saying hi, you everybody? I love it loud and clear. Or is time to move on? Could be. Trisha had the exact same thought. Um, Told my family that I feel like November is going to be, yeah, November, it feels really big to me as well, super big. Um, I mean, like, and I literally was, I texted Bud the other day. I mean, I kind of read what I read, but before that, I said, honey, like, this month is really big for us. Like, I need you. Like, he hears what I say, but I don't know if he fully really grasps it, but he trusts me. Like, he trusts me enough to kind of just, he just listens, I can tell. But I said, like, in my moment of darkness, I was like, it's gonna make me or break me. But before that, I said, honey, I really feel like this month is going to change us in some way. Crazy. I don't know. My mom says, all of what you are saying was me the past week. And this morning I woke up at 7:39, sick and thinking I missed Peace Talks. Coincidence that Peace Talks has moved to 8 here in California. No, it's no, see, there's no coincidences. It's always working out in our favor. So you made it. Yeah. The purging, like when you said you were sick, Mom, and I said, I'm going to grab my thermometer. Like fevers are anger. That's how our body expresses anger out. Fire energy. So just sweat it out as best you can. The more you sweat it out, the more you purge. If you know, poop or you throw up, like any way of purging, if you have to cry. I mean, I actually didn't cry too much. It was more like writing. I wrote last week, I cried a lot. I talked about that. But in the last 2 days, it was more just like, gosh, and I would just write it out. It was just this whole process is quite um it's fascinating to me. I love it, but I'm kind of done with it as well. So I'm ready to just live in joy again. Recently, my chest has been very uncomfortable, like my heart quadrupled in size. Yeah, Liza. Um, well, it kind of did. Remember that you got double the light there a couple weeks ago. So, you are carrying more light. And but that has also been with these energies. Like my heart has been this last 10 days has just been really being expanded. Like we are being prepared to take on a lot of light. I read something today. I don't remember where it was, but the words that came through is it's the anticipation of an overload of light. And I was like, yes, and it coincided with what I'm getting. So we are being prepared, our hearts are being expanded to take in a lot of light. And I think it's gonna has to do with this revelation, this illumination, whatever this is, to come in and just expand our hearts to where we're like, oh my gosh, for those of us on here. For others in the world, it's gonna be oh my gosh, so there's going to be a lot of different unique experiences of whatever this is. And I'm not even sure, to be honest. I'm not even saying it's going to be like a global moment in time. It could be. I'm not saying it's the grand solar flash because I'm not sure about that. I think it's just going to be a big influx that is going to of light that is going to have a very unique effect on us individually. I think it feels to me more it's something to boost us up, to get us ready for a larger thing. But I think it's just going to be a really big boost up. I believe my heaven on earth is so close, but this last week feels like being ripped up by the roots from this old world. I just keep hearing a guide telling me, leave it all behind. Yes, get ready, leave it all behind. I mean, that's completely coincides literally the words of get ready to bend, leave it all behind, close, the door is closed now. So there is a finality. There's like a finale kind of energy, right? Like when I mean, back in the day, it's been so long since I watched like any kind of, America's Got Talent or anything like that. But like the finale, there's like an excitement, like, oh, there's a final moment in time where you just know. And you've been working up and it's been exciting. So for those of us on this conversation, it does feel like some kind of finale. But I think the finale is the ending of that world, the world as we know it, the inverted world. Not I'm not talking about anything that's scary. I'm talking about like a finality of like, finally I'm out of that world. And I don't know what it is either. Like that's what the anticipation is. The anticipation is, what is this going to look like? What is it going to feel like? And it will be shocking and jarring. It's a shock and awe. It's going to be jarring to the system, but I feel like in a different way than we've ever known before. Strong words that I needed to hear. The poof moment. Yeah, Trish. My gosh, I would love a reading. I sure need it. Coincidence or not? Nope, there are no coincidences. Everything is done in our favor. There's no coincidences. All this crappy, you know, chaos going on around me. I know, like, the more chaos, now I get it. The more chaos that's out there is the more light I've got, right? Like, bring it, bring me all the chaos because I got it. Today I felt really powerful with it. Like, it was the first time that I wasn't like having to like work at not letting it get to me. I was just like, I got this. Like, I am more powerful than you, jackhammer, and you, wet saw. I've got this. You can't take my light. You can't steal my light. It was a really empowering day working with that energy out there because I finally got it. The lighter, the brighter we go, the more poop, the more density we are going to attract. But our job is now to be the balance between the light and the dark, to be the gatekeepers of light and dark. We decide what gets in, and we decide what, like, light. Sure, come on in, light. The darkness shows up. Nope, you can stay right here. You can stay right outside that door, but you don't get to come in. So this is where we really have been able to understand, and we are learning to balance the light even more. So you can't take my peace. No way. I mean, it's gotten close. I mean, Trish, I've been texting with you being like, Lord have mercy. I mean, seriously, there are a couple moments of time I was like, I can't take anymore. But then it just passes. Then it passes. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my gosh. So you're not alone. This isn't manic stuff. Our culture, our society has told us that these ups and downs make someone manic. It's how we express. It's what we are here to be. It's what we've been here to learn and to remember, that we are spiritual beings having this emotional experience that just shows us where we are in the physical world. And when we live in the emotional world of the inverted world of anxiety and overwhelm and scarcity and lack and all of that, it's just telling us we're not in the right spot. Like, it's telling us there's another way. And it took us a while to remember that we have the power to change that. So we have become change agents. We have become, we've changed ourselves. We continue to change ourselves. And the more we do that, the more we realize that change is the only safe skill set to have in this world. It's a skill set. And I feel pretty good now. You throw anything at me, I can change in a heartbeat. You throw change to, a lot of the world and they're going to freak the hell out. But we've got this. Like, we have learned that change only comes when our emotions light the way. Our heart tells us, no, you're not like this. If you're living in this kind of density, you're just not in the right spot, sweet soul. It's time to change. It's time to move. And that's what this whole process has been, to evolve into a higher state of perception, of understanding. So this is it's a skill set now that I feel that we have I feel like I've mastered it. Doesn't mean it, a surgeon still has to go in and do surgery, even though they've mastered it. They can still make mistakes. I still make mistakes. I still freaked the hell out on the dogs the other night because they were driving me crazy. And I was in anger and I was like, just stop barking, stop playing. They were playing and it was driving me crazy. And I felt so bad. So I had a moment, but I regrouped and I called them over and I gave them love. And it was like, I'm so sorry, guys. Just me and mom was moving through some stuff, but we're not perfect, but we're pretty much mastered at it. We can pull ourselves back when we need to. So you got this, my friend. I got this. We all got this. This has been a good one. Thank you. I'm gonna go with my son being gone. The son out here, not my. I still have my sons. And Mom, I'll reach out to you. We're gonna get this scheduled because I think this is gonna be fun. And thank you all so much. Thanks so much for being here and for being part of this community and understanding what we're talking about here, because it's freeing to be able to talk about this thing, called ascension, and this process that we're in, because many of us have felt very alone in our lives, and in this, especially in these last few years, with not being on the same page or the same road, same pathway with majority of the world. So to have this conversation and to know there are people all around the world that are on the same journey. We were all linked arms, energetically are, but I know that we're all going to come together when our heavens on earth, they start to form and they come together. We're all going to be celebrating, and we're all going to be meeting in person. I know that for sure. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much, y'all. Remember, in this moment, I am ascending into the light of the Creator and to my heaven on earth. I know it is abracadabra. My words make it so, and so it is. Open the storehouse. We are all good. So much love. Have a good one.